Greetings, I'm Dike Rostant. Welcome back to the TTT News. The Public Relations Association of Trinidad and Tobago is closing in on 50 in 2022, and they also recently had a new board installed. We are going in depth on those achievements and future moves with President LaShaun Ramdin. Welcome, LaShaun, and congratulations on your recent move to becoming the president. How does it feel to be at the helm at this point in time of PRATT?
I am very excited and thank you. I think that PRATT is a great organization, and I am actually very happy to be of service to the communications and public relations industry.
No, it's nothing to sneeze at. Half a century. What are some of the things that you're looking at in the industry over 50 years?
Now, public relations back in the day, 50 years ago, it was all about the media strategy and, image consultancy and that kind of job. Now, it has a more modern definition to public relations. According to PRSA, which is the Public Relations Society of America, they define it as a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their publics. So we want to evolve public relations and have a more of an inclusive sort of membership, instead of the hard and fast PR professional. Public relations, again, it has evolved. So over the last 50 years to now, a lot of changes has happened within the industry, and we are trying to incorporate those changes to accept and welcome into the fold the new public relations professionals and communicators, and that could include a range of different people. It could be publicists, it could be marketing professionals, digital marketers like myself, social media managers, brand and reputation managers, along with our communications and public relations professionals.
And that's one of the things. That's one of the things I wanted to ask in terms of who makes the cut now, because PR is different, is more inclusive, but at the same time, does everyone fit the bill? So if someone is asking, okay, what about influencers? What do you say to them?
I would say for us under PRATT, our constitution allows a specific range of people, and we are going to be sticking with that range in terms of the persons that I mentioned before. Influencers, yes, and those other social media, I would say, entities, they do play a part in terms of communications, but for PRATT, we have to stick under the laws and bylaws of our constitution to allow certain professionals within the fold.
I like that answer, Madam President. But in terms of the fold, this also makes me think a little bit of, there's a certain bank that would have built their membership by focusing on students and saying, okay, well, we want to have you, and there's this competition, and we start you off with an account at this bank. Is this one of the things that you're looking at in terms of bringing students into the fold as well? So you're not professional, but this is the course of study that you're aiming for. This is where your career trajectory lies with regard to the course of study. So is this something that you're looking at as well?
Absolutely. Students make up, I would say we have like a three-tiered approach in terms of that. And the first is actually students. PRATT we want to be meeting with tertiary level institutions across Trinidad and Tobago that offer communication and public relations certification. And we tend to discuss ways where we can better streamline and adapt the curriculum offered to pair with the world of work, because you would understand what it is you learn in school in terms of any discipline, whether it's public relations, communications. When you get into the world of work, it completely flies out the door. There's a different range in terms of what you should expect. And we want to work with students and their the institutions that offer those sorts of courses and degrees to help them understand best how it is that this discipline of public relations happens in the real world. So yes, students are definitely a top tier for us to be going after and bringing them again into the pool of PRATTs.
And I think that also expands the conversations that PRATT is able to have. So one, you give students that sort of functional, practical context that they can meld with the academic learning that is taking place, but you also get them, I think, having conversations with their educators and say, well, Miss or Sir, I hear, or in the real world, and that might help keep the lecturers a little more on their toes as well. Is that part and parcel of the thrust?
Not to stress out the lecturers, but yes, to definitely help them to understand how the evolving mechanism of public relations and the communications is now in 2022 and beyond. In the real world, there are communicators and public relations professionals who have to create copy, who have to help with content. They're doing event management. They're doing a gambit of things outside of just the institutionalized way of what we knew before of managing of images and how people tend to view us sometimes as spin doctors. It's not only that, there is a range of things. In fact, they have to also include digital marketing in terms of how it is that they get their messages out. So yeah, definitely. We want to make sure we are actually even going to be having a resume writing camp that is going to be targeted towards students to help give them the opportunity of crafting their resume for success when they are finished with school, in terms of getting the right placement in the right industry, in the right, I would say, company as a communicator for yourself, and also pair you up with mentors within the PRATT organization. We have members and they have a wealth of experience that we believe that the students can benefit from.
So you said it's not necessarily that you want to stress out the teachers. So is it a matter of saying, okay, well, having the lecturers become part of PRATT as well? So because it's always good to refresh your toolkit and say, okay, well, these are some of the changes in the industry that is taking place. So what level of acceptance, access do you have for the lecturers, the educators as well, to become members of PRATT?
Currently, what we would like to do is actually have conversations with them in terms, again, of their curriculum and what it is that the real world requires from communications and public relations practitioners. Even have them attend or even speak to us about different courses of study and different modules that they would have been teaching their students. We plan to have a series of lives, or I would say events, that speaks around the various topics within the communications field, and have lecturers discuss that with us, not necessarily become members, but have open discussions in terms of how best we can equip these students for the world of work and being a PR professional.
I appreciate that, because you talk about equipping students for the world of work, and sometimes it seems as though there's too much of a bridge or a gap between the understanding that the output of the education system is the input of the workforce. So being able to bridge that gap a little bit. But you spoke about tiers a little earlier, Ms. Ramdin. So can you break down those tiers of membership for us, please?
Sure. So the other tier outside of students are professionals in the industry. This year we've been including PRATT professional or chats, intensive 2-day trainings and integral skills in the industry that may need to be covered by a degree program. But here we would either be providing a certificate of participation or partnering with an educational institution to provide a more substantial certification. One of the hot topics currently is always crisis management. And we are fortunate to have very knowledgeable professionals within PRATT that can handle the conversations around crisis management. So we actually are looking to have a PRATT professional 2-day training around crisis management for our current members and those that seek or want to join within the organization to better understand how it is that we're going to handle crises as they occur, or to even prepare beforehand certain aspects that you need to get done before it even begins, before it even happens. You have to have a plan, and we want to ensure that our membership is also equipped to handle those things.
And with that in mind, we take a short break. When we return, we continue this conversation with the President of the Public Relations Association of Trinidad and Tobago, LaShaun Ramdin. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are going in depth on the work of PRATT. We are speaking with President LaShaun Ramdin. And just before we took the break, Ms. Ramdin, you were talking about crisis management, tooling the members of PRATT. And it makes me want to ask the question, what has PR during a pandemic looked like? Have you seen some changes? Are there things that people are focusing on a little more? What is that from your view?
Currently, during the pandemic, I would be very open to say that public relations during a pandemic is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Professionals had to deal with the communications that are coming out of their organizations, ensuring that it aligns with the same communications from health and from the global, in a global scale. And they also had to upscale their competencies in a number of different fields. We had communicators who had to write a press release, create a video, edit a video, post on social media, have content. It was absolutely nuts. And unfortunately, because we are such tough ones and we got it done, you know, it's expected that this is the norm now. This is our norm. We have to do it all. And that is where it is. All communicators, all public relations practitioners, we need to come together and support each other in terms of how and what are best practices for us to get those things done. What are the tools, what are the digital tools that one may have used over another to ensure that the smooth transition and the smooth output of all the communications that is coming from your organization, and still ensure that you are not burnt out, because that is a real thing, and you have the support of an organization behind you.
And in terms of that support of an organization behind you, what do you say to someone who asks you, but what's the perks of joining PRATT? I've been doing what I've been doing and it's been working to a degree, and I might as well just continue like that. Why join PRATT? What do you tell them?
I would tell you about the benefits of becoming a member. You have access to valuable resources such as articles, Some of our workshops for members are at reduced prices. You have access to previous recordings of discussions. You're going to be part of a professional network. And networking is quite a valuable thing. It serves as a great resource for you to cultivate friendships, connect with mentors, share referrals, and expand your professional network. The opportunity is also there to cultivate your own personal brand, which sometimes we tend to forget we as individuals are a brand, by either joining the executive board, because each term of the executive is 2 years, or being part of a committee. There are lots of committees in terms of different events and ideas that we have, and we want the membership to be part of those committees and feel that they are accessing valuable information and lending their expertise to what it is that we are trying to achieve.
And in terms of that achievement, I want to go back to the beginning of the conversation, and you spoke about service being in the role of president. What would make you say, I want to do this at this point in time?
I was actually on the board for the past 4 years as the digital communications director. It was a really great experience. And I felt that because I was in the background and I was seeing the wheels turning in terms of how it is the organization had a plan to move forward, that I would have been the ideal person, I thought so, in terms of going forward and ensuring that the plans that were made with the past 2 executives would see fruition.
So we've spoken about tiers, we've spoken about some of the perks of membership, but how does someone say, okay, well, I want to become a member of PRATT? What are those incremental steps towards membership?
Again, well, we have to be part of a group of people, which I would say, and I'm going to list it out, either a publicist, a marketing professional, a digital marketer, a social media manager, brand and reputation managers, communications professionals, and public relations professionals. You can reach out to us via our email or via our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Our email is info.pratt@gmail.com. Reach out to us that way, and we would essentially be asking you to share with us your resume so we can see your experience in the fields that we've listed. And we want to have a conversation with you. You're not going to just be a member, just to be a member seat. You're going to have to join a committee. You're going to have to do something. So if you're calling us, know that we are going to be calling on you to join a committee. Yeah.
It's some kind of like church group. As soon as somebody has an idea, that's a fabulous idea, and we're going to make a committee and you'll be behind it and running with it. But also, but you spoke about the email though. The social handles for your digital platforms is public relations TT, right?
Yes, that's correct. Public relations TT across Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
And you spoke about some of those things that we can be expecting. What's closest on the agenda, looking at 50 years of PRATT in terms of ways that you all will be observing this occasion?
I will tell you about a project that is very near and dear to me, and that is a PRATT website. That is my legacy project. Now, PRATT it has existed for 50 years, and unfortunately, there's no online place that you could find information about the history of the organization in this digital age. I am going to be spearheading the creation of PRATT's website. If there's nothing else I do, you're definitely going to get a website by the end of my term. I also want this website to be a resource for training, past training that we would have had, videos, conversations we have throughout even what previous boards, any videos that we have, we're going to be putting it on this resource. And also, there is going to be a database of professionals of the industry. So it can easily be searched and confirmed who is a current member of PRATT at this time. And that, to me, is my legacy project, this website.
And it's by no means influenced by what it is you currently do, because I think you're into digital marketing, right?
Yes, I am a digital marketer.
But thank you for sharing, and we're looking for good things coming out of PRATT. 50 years, congrats once again, and congrats to your recent ascension to this position. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.